product of roots of quadratic equation. At the end of the session, the students will be able to understand the product and sum of the roots of quadratic equations. Remember that the roots of a quadratic equation can be determined using the quadratic formula x is equal to negative b plus minus the radical of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. From the quadratic formula, let x sub 1 is equal to negative b plus the radical of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, and x sub 2 is equal to negative b minus the radical of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a be the roots. So let us discuss the sum of the roots of quadratic equation x sub 1 plus x sub 2 from the quadratic formula negative b plus the radical of b squared minus 4ac over 2a plus the negative b minus the radical b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So again, this equation came from the quadratic formula. Okay, then x sub 1 plus x sub 2, we have here a simplified form negative b plus the radical of b squared minus 4ac. Then why it becomes negative? This is from plus negative b, so it will become negative b. Then the negative sign in between b and square root of the radical of b squared came from the sign of positive times negative in the first equation. Okay, then it will become again negative b minus the radical of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Then simplify, cancel. Negative b plus negative b is negative 2b all over 2a. Just copy the denominator. Then, okay, your x sub 1 plus x sub 2 will become negative b over 2 because negative b over a because 2 over 2 is 1. So this is our final formula when you are getting the sum of the roots, negative b over a. Okay, let's go on now to the product of the roots of quadratic equation. So x sub 1 times x sub 2. So from the quadratic formula, get the negative b plus the radical of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a and negative b minus the radical of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Then we will just simplify it. Negative b squared, we have negative b, 2 negative b, so negative b squared. Then quantity radical of b squared minus 4ac squared, pinagsama lang natin over quantity of 2a squared. Then simplify, we have here negative b squared is b squared minus, you extract it, so you will cancel the squared outside and the square root or the radical sign. So it will become b squared plus 4ac all over 4a squared. So b squared minus b squared cancel. So you will have 4ac all over 4a squared. Okay. Then your product of the roots is c over a. Okay, let's have an example. Find the sum and product of the roots. 2x squared plus 14x plus 24 is equal to 0. First thing is to get the value of a, b, and c, which is 2, 14, and 24. Okay, then the sum of the roots is, you can use negative b over a. Okay, then let us just substitute. So no need to do the whole thing. Okay, we just want you to know where negative b over a comes from. Alright, so negative b is negative 14 and a is 2. So just simplify it. Sum of the roots is negative 7. Okay, then the product of the roots is use c over a. So again, no need to do the whole thing. Just get the formula for getting the product of the roots. So our c is 24 and a is 2. So the product of the roots is 24 over 2 is 12. Now to check, Let's find the roots of the quadratic equation 2x squared plus 14x plus 24 is equal to 0. And these are negative 3 and negative 14. So the best method that you're going to use to find the roots of this equation is factoring. You can also use quadratic formula anyway. Alright, so I already got the roots negative 3 and negative 4. So there is no shortcut in finding the roots. You need to perform the method like extracting the square root, factoring, completing the square, and quadratic formula. Alright, in this one, the best method is factoring. Alright, so you can also check that you can also do that at home. Let us check it. Sum of the roots. So we have here x plus 1 plus x sub 1 plus x sub 2 is equal to negative 3 plus negative 4. So the sum of the roots is negative 7. So this is the same in the other formula earlier when you use negative b over a. While product of the roots, you use earlier c over a, but this time we will use the real roots. So x sub 1 times x sub 2 is equal to negative 3 times negative 4. So negative times negative is positive. So your x sub 1 and x sub 2 is equal to 12. So this is also the same in the solution earlier when you use c over a for the product of the roots.